Welcome, chic and eclectic powder room here. As you see, I love the gournay, and this is hand painted, hand embroidered, and hand sequenced. You see all the beads. Love finding this Art Deco oval mirror that actually complements the wallpaper, the color. It's actually salmon, literally. This belongs to the client throughout their travel. It's a Moroccan tabletop that we convert as an art, and I complement that with the shape of the lambrequin of the window treatment. I love using onyx for a countertop. In this case, it's a pink translucent onyx. I think it's so luxe. This vanity was actually existing when I arrived here. I just enhanced it with the gilding.
So for the main powder bath, we started with this beautiful Anne Sachs mosaic. And with the scale of the space, we loved using something that was a little bit smaller and had a ton of visual impact. And we used that as a basis to create this custom wallpaper where we played with the scale of the fish and the color, and we sort of married those things together.
In every house, there are a couple of rooms where you really want to go for some extra wow. And a powder room is one of those places because you're going to not spend that much time in it. We created a powder room with this incredible hand-printed wallpaper from Paris. It's from the 1920s, and it's got that Art Deco feeling with these wonderful parrots, and the ceiling is gold leaf as well. We paired that with this high lacquer black, which really goes for some extra impact as well.
My rule of thumb is for powder baths, more. You can never have enough layers. This is an Elegance wallpaper. It is actually a fabric, and the fabric is a pleated fabric, so it has a texture. Antique Venetian light fixture, an antique mirror. Then we have a custom cut marble floor.
Powder rooms are so much fun to decorate. It's a room that you can kind of have so much fun with. It doesn't necessarily have to match the rest of the house. It doesn't even have to flow with the rest of the home. I feel like it's a piece of art, essentially. We found this fun wallpaper with hanging drunken monkeys. When a guest pops into the bathroom, they'll come out and say, oh my God, I love the wallpaper. And that's really what you want when somebody walks into the powder room.
This is the powder room off of the hallway, and this beautiful quince wallpaper fabric from Clarence House. It helps complement everything else we're doing in the house. It's got the pop of red and the playfulness and the organic flow of the branches. Really makes you come in here and it's happy. It really just feels like a formal powder room, and it's one of my favorite wallpapers.
In the powder room, we did really a complete departure, which is what we typically do in powder rooms because it's just a moment. Like many jobs, the client fell in love with a wallpaper, these like cool Chinese dragons, and this became the foundation for the room. We pulled up the existing floor, and it's so small and not too expensive to do a tiny little room like this. So we used this beautiful marble mosaic. And then we found this really cool cement sink in like this mint green. It just kind of finished off the space, and it's this cool little spot.
The powder room is one of my favorite spaces. They have 2 dogs, and so they really wanted this custom wallpaper based on the dogs. And so we did the graphic design for it. We had it printed. So I used this amazing black and white Anne Sachs terrazzo there, and it was like kind of graphic connected to the foyer, the perfect foundation for my custom wallpaper. So it's a really fun space.
We're in the powder room, which is this gorgeous jewel box of a bathroom. And I love to design powder rooms with people coming in with having this wow factor. And it's the one room in a house that people go who don't live here who can really take it in and look at everything. So Willem Raquet, who's a decorative painter I work with, painted all throughout this powder room. And we even painted the back of the door because we wanted it to be this encompassing when you're here of being in this jungle of a garden. My client's son loves monkeys, and so we have all these really special monkeys throughout. And the mirror and the sconce was designed by David Wiseman. It has this very big jungle feeling. And again, these colors are all playing off the colors throughout the rest of the house.
So the powder room was a funny room. This jungle expedition wallpaper, and then we wanted to throw in something really fun in there. We came up with like 20 expressions that had the word shit in it. You guys picked It's a Shit Show. And I think people go in there and they just laugh. This is a jewel box of a powder room, and there's jewel boxes in the powder room. We designed these little doors that have little lights in them, and they can hold anything. So there's special little funny books in there, or sometimes there's sculptures. It's always changed out, so it can be seasonally changed out for whatever holiday is happening, or birthdays, or customized. You know, it's all this really beautiful deep blue color, and then a lovely cola sink that just fits beautifully in there. And these little cabinets have keys and tassels from Samuel & Sons, and it just adds to the whimsy of this room. We have this stormy sort of ceiling, and that's where we kind of captured a little bit of white in there, and so that balanced out with the cola sink.
When we originally bought the house, there was no powder room there. In fact, the hallway went actually straight through into the kitchen, and we had to reconfigure some of the areas to get it to flow the way we wanted to. And we were able to create a powder room. The door to the powder room is completely hidden. It has paneling on it, has wallpaper on it. When the door is closed, if you're not paying attention, you wouldn't know it's there. Then you open the door into this immersive explosion of color. We wanted that color to be all around you. And it's this really great handmade Mexican hexagonal tile that's got this really rich blue quality to it that's on the floor and the walls. So we wanted that experience to walk in and just be completely enveloped by this really, really rich, saturated color.
I created this elevation with the antique mirror and the sconces. And the idea was I had a cavity within the stairs and in this room, so I created this hidden bookcase into this sort of secret little powder room. The wallpaper is all books. I did a groin vault ceiling in here, and the idea was I wanted it to look like an old library. Under my feet are actually novels, The Odyssey and Decoupage. It's more like a sealant. It was a trial and error. We had a lot of errors, but ultimately it came out amazing.
One really amazing detail in this foyer is our hidden wall that houses our powder room, which has one of our beautiful Anzacs tiles displayed right on the wall itself. The tile on this wall is the Idris by At Manos. We did it in the hex so that it kind of plays like this woven pattern. It's beautiful. Just displayed on a wall. You can use it as a backsplash as well. We needed it to be a focal point, so we put it behind this floating vanity and paired it with some Callista legs on this floating vanity that turned out outstanding.
My powder room. I think it's always nice to have a sort of jewel box for your guests. What I love about this is it has a wonderful nautical feel to it. Wallpaper is CNC Milano, and then all the fixtures and the plumbing are Waterworks.
The powder room downstairs is direct opposition to the brightness of the rest of the home. Saturated grass cloth and tone-on-tone paint on the ceiling and the trim in this really, really saturated blue. And then we have brass accents and a pedestal sink in marble, brass and leather sconces that sort of glow. And it's just a really nice respite from the light to the rest of the space, and I like to treat powder rooms kind of like that.
Here we are in the powder room of the main level, and it's like a big pop of color, which we love. As you come in, you'll find this sort of like blushy pink. We started here with the wallpaper, this beautiful Kelly Wearstler graphic pattern. We custom designed the vanity with this sort of like marble, again, sort of taking the idea of the top and incorporating it on the bottom. And really beautiful details in here. We love this Urban Electric sconce. And then again, the homeowner's art, which they have a extensive collection of really beautiful pieces that we've sort of moved throughout the house. And then the ceiling detail here, I think is really nice because a lot of times I think the ceiling goes forgotten. And here you want to automatically look up and see what's happening here. So one of the challenges of a powder room when it opens up to this great outdoor space outside is it has to function. So you need some level of privacy here. For softness as well as privacy, we made this beautiful Roman shade in this gorgeous linen and then taped it off with a sort of contrasting tape here, which allows you for the privacy you need as well as some softness in here.
So this is our powder room. I've taken an antique jardiniere that I actually bought for a client, and I've copied it and I sort of modified it. I use it as a powder room sink now. So it's a little piece of furniture that I make. And this is a perfect example of where we use Benjamin Moore paint. On the wainscoting, it's all Benjamin Moore paint. And then this little vanity is Benjamin Moore paint, but it's done by our decorative painter with a chalky finish so that it feels sort of antique. And so it's the same color of paint, but used in two different ways. And here it's used with a little sort of brown line around it as a detail, a gold sink, and wonderful faucets by Waterworks. And this is a line called Boulevard. And I love it. And they did it for me in a custom gold finish. This is one of my little medicine cabinets that I do sort of here, which makes it, you know, nice to have in a powder room. The walls are papered in a wonderful Billy Baldwin bamboo wallpaper, a little collection of antique paintings, plaster crown molding, and wainscoting, all done by Fairfax for me. The floor is limestone, and all over the apartment I've used the same limestone but used it in different patterns. And I love this because it's from the Parthenon. It's that wonderful idea of the circle and the square, and I love that. And again, it's something sort of antique and ancient that I've used in a modern way.
We did a little dark moment here of a high gloss paint with some millwork. We have an artist featured in here. His name is Thomas Swanston. He uses a lot of silver leaf, gold leaf. It just kind of brightens up the place, adds a little sparkle. The Arabescato Corsia countertop from Ann Sachs. On top of the bell cabinetry underneath, it has touch latch doors. No hardware.
For this powder room, we used a beautiful slab of Calicut Viola from Artistic Tile. We created a sink from the slab, and then we did this very original broken joint down here, putting the mirror in between and then continuing it on up into the ceiling portion of the bathroom. And the other walls we wrapped in a beautiful Venetian plaster in a blush color.
The powder room, we wanted a space that felt elegant and that guests could use, so we picked a beautiful gold leaf wallpaper to put on the ceiling. The client actually found flowered wallpaper, and then we replaced the tile on the floor of that bathroom, and we picked a really cool pattern with brass inlay.
So powder bathrooms are a place where we really like to be bold and have fun and use wallpaper, because what else are you doing except for hanging out in the bathroom? And this is not your bedroom where you're trying to sleep and create like calmness. It's like the jewelry of the house.
Powder rooms are always a place where we like to have a little fun, maybe take more of a design risk per se. And I think this powder room is one where we really played up that contrast in the home. So we've got this, you know, stronger black backsplash on the vanity, and then it's complemented by this very textural, almost ethereal, more ivory wallpaper. We also loved the fixture by Callista, the Pina Paletta collection in the natural brass.
Powder room, a custom Holland and Sherry. It's more of a texture and it looks almost hand painted. And of course we had to lacquer the trim. We lacquered the vanity as well. We chose the lacquer because it's a powder room and you've got to go all out in a powder room always. It's a small space and it's really an opportunity to take a risk.
So this bathroom was intentionally painted in this color. I wanted it to be a unforgettable moment in the house, and what I love about these small rooms, especially powder rooms, is when you can really take a chance with color and kind of go for it. When it was finally painted and I hadn't styled it yet, I knew that I had to do this kind of gallery layering into it, and I had so much fun finding this art and, you know, making it come alive. Teeny vanity. The artwork was, some of it's some things I found for the house, other things I've had for a long time, but I had to make it look very eclectic. I had this mirror painted, and then we trimmed out the bathroom in this beautiful kind of flex roping tape that we put in the purple color as well, and it just made the whole bathroom feel like a little Hermes box.
This is the powder room off the entryway. We really wanted to create a jewel box of a powder room with a lot of impact. So it started with this Abri grass cloth wallpaper that's printed in panels to size. And then if you come in here, you'll see this piece that we collaborated with to create. So it's a sconce in the back from Tierra Bell, and then we created the mirror to hang in front of.
The powder room. And I wanted to keep that organic feel, and I have a collaboration of wallpaper coming out with flavor paper, and this is one of my patterns. It's called Rift, and it's very nicely coordinated with my rug from the rug company called Ripped. I love the whole neutral, high contrast effect going all through my space. Flavor paper surprised me with this flavor paper by Lucinda Loya, hidden secret on the wall with a black light. So I turned to Cosentino to make this custom design that I had come up with to work in my space, and it is made of Decton with a black grout inlay. We integrated the sink, and it's very sophisticated and goes along with the space. I also did this puddle rug with stark carpet. And inside the powder room, you have an experience to enjoy Scott Eaton's video art of two people dancing, kind of morphed together, and it's very organic as well.
Right now we're standing in the ladies' room. The inspiration here was a Parisian boudoir, inspired by the French architecture of the exterior of the building. We wanted to hone in on the bones that were existing and take a traditional concept and add a little bit of a modern, whimsical flair. We started the project with the first material being this custom floor with artistic tile using Rosa Portogallo, the light pink color. That kind of began the curvilinear aspect, which we then carried onto the backsplash and paired it with this beautiful midnight Gracie wall covering to add a hint of drama. The slab here that makes the backsplash underneath the mirror all started with a hand sketch by a designer named Denise in our office. She thought that it would be curvy and a little sexy, kind of feminine in quality, and it translated beautifully to real life. We had to template the mirror perfectly around the stone, so it's a lot of extra work to make sure that a backsplash and the mirror seam together perfectly. But we love the reflective quality of the mirror and the wallpaper and how it kind of creates this level of mystery in the corner here. I think the asymmetry is really important. We didn't feel the need to align the faucets or the sinks to any specific point. We really wanted the stone to make its own statement and the sinks come in after. And we feel like the Kohler sinks and faucets are just jewelry in the space. The thing that surprised me most about this flooring is that it has such a feminine quality, but most of the men that have visited this room point out the floor and that they love it. So you can use pink in any application. The slab we use here actually has pink, purple, and a dark blue. You can use the stone as a storyline for the rest of the materials in the space. And the slab is a Arabescado Rosa. This bathroom is charming and it has a level of mystery to it. The best word I could use to describe it is whimsical. This is the men's room. We feel like it's a beautiful complement to the women's because it has so much similar quality in detailing and texture. The men's is all very thoughtful and curated on trim work and detail and rigidness. We paired those patterns with more organic materials on the walls with decorative wallpaper to kind of soften the space, but it has its own quality separate from the women's in a more formal and masculine approach. The floor is a completely custom design. We paired the grid with the bronze fantasy stone mixed with the grid from artistic tile. Everything is marble. This very gridded tile reminded us of men's suiting textures. So with that, we added the textile on the wall. This is a grass cloth by Philip Jeffries, and we thought it reminded us of a smoking jacket. We then paired that with the metallic wall covering, almost as a tie would complement a men's jacket, and in the restrooms as well. We wanted to keep the vanity very classic. Calcutta gold was our go-to. We paired it with these bronze mirrors from Made Goods that have a traditional quality. Light fixtures from Ateliers with this handcrafted stone and brass detail with the linen shade. We thought it paired nicely with the whole suiting concept. In the end, this room has a feeling of a tailored and handsome quality. The paint, called River Rock by Benjamin Moore, adds a lovely hint of color and kind of unexpectedness, but a rich quality. And I don't think it's overpowering. The metallic gives it a layer of softness. I feel like it appeals to everyone as a very classic and tailored design.